Well, welcome back is what I was trying to say to Mac and the LCO for week 4. We've got more and a brand new year, a whole bunch of fun. We've also got Skimmy and a special guest who did show his face the other week. Fido's here to bring you all the action, bring you all the fun. And look, we've got a big day of games ahead of us, boys. Skimmy, how you feeling? How was your weekend?
Look, I'm feeling good, feeling great, feeling ready to see your beautiful face on my screen again. Mwah!
How you doing? What about you, Fido? How you feeling?
I'm dying from the heat, but super excited for some League of Legends.
What about your shirt? Yeah, you know, just tell us a little bit about your message here.
Well, it's accurate. It's accurate. I'm always right unless I'm wrong, so can't really fault that logic.
I respect it. I respect it. You know, you need to send that message to everyone at home, all these noobs in chat that think they know what they're talking about, also known as Couch Andes. But we don't deal with them right now. We're going to look back at what happened last week before we jump into today's action.
Now coming in from the opposition is Vim. He goes in for the flash charm, blocking in place 2 members. The Dragon getting low and low about a second. Harry coming from the south side, ready to flank. He's got that flash, he's got that ultimate, but biding his time. Waiting for him to go asleep. One-man ultimate, night, goodbye Corky. Sakise's dead, one at soon to fall. Lemus gets the kill with the ultimate, but now Lemus is in trouble. Where you going? You cannot flash. It was up and available, but the wall was too far away. The flash that found success. Now but get himself out. First of all, go underneath this tower. Take 1, take 2.
Oh my
He's
God.
run the numbers. Give me an HP check. Get 15. Baron has been starting. It's down to 40%. TP is too little too late. Kisei turns in and says, do I have enough damage? Even without the pack, it's going to go in. We're going to try and make it happen. The Poppy knockback first.
The Baron!
They have the Baron. There is no why-not. There is no smite. They've been outplayed.
Oh my God!
It's going to get picked up by Poppy of all people. Can you believe it? Forget smite. It's overrated. Biopemper running for the heels.
Which remembers the package, he doesn't use it, time's out!
It doesn't get used. He gets Mollymox. He gets caught out of position. That's a disaster, Fido. There is the wombo, and that is the combo. But yet to find the kills. Perry is low, and one up continues to pursue them. There is the crescent, and there is the double from Violet. He is just so strong. He's hit double digits. There's the triple. Man is staring down a penta. But Wino interrupts the party. Says, you can settle for a quad. There's the ace. Let's end this game.
Some crazy scenes last week, and Fido, I heard your beautiful voice in there for maybe a second, because Skimmy was just killing it on that play-by-play. What was your favourite moment from last week that you're hoping we're going to get to see this week, Skimmy?
More of this. Bang! Knocked him out of the park as the Poppy. No
More
Barons
hammers.
for you. And we see a little bit of smurfing with the observing there. We saw that Lydia just like floating through the sky. Wee, wee.
Okay,
Bye-bye
a
now.
little bit of that maybe. But look, let's have a quick look at the standings and catch up on where everyone's sitting on the leaderboard before we jump into today's action. So right up top there, we've got Ion on 2-1, Team Bliss tied with them on 2-1 as well. And some teams, of course, haven't quite played their third games, but that's all right. And look, it seems like we're going to have a similar thing today. But down towards the bottom, we got Mammoth and Direwolves 0-2, 0-3, and looking to still hunt for their first wins. Fido, anything in particular you want to point out here? Any teams that you think are outdoing themselves on the table early in the split?
Yeah, I mean, Ion is a big surprise to everybody. How much success they found early on, tied for rank 1, which is that's pretty awesome for them. And obviously today we've got Mammoth playing, right? So hopefully Mammoth can put a point on the board. Should be an exciting match.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to be able to do that. Let's take it to the schedule. We do only have one game today, of course, because there's been a postponement on that Direwolves and Kanga game, so we won't get to see either of them teams get that first win. But as you mentioned, Mammoth could get a rubbity dub up against Ground Zero here, who has had one draw so far, and I just want to touch on that. You know, it's been a while since I've been around here, but you've changed the format. You're bringing players on like this Fido fella. Like, I don't know what's going on, what management's doing, but they've brought me back to try to sort things out. So I can't change the format. We're not going to change that, but I thought Fido was a good egg, so we've kept him here for the moment. Out of those games, which one would you like to watch the most?
Probably the postponed game, to be honest there, Mac. Would love to see what's going on with that one, eh?
I've got bad news for you, Skimmy. We're not going to watch that one today. We're going to be watching the other one. It's going to be Mammoth and GZ, and it's going to be an interesting affair there. But before we jump into that discussion, we're playing on a new patch today. So let's see what's changed, what Riot's thrown at bloody everyone here, what's buffed, what's nerfed. Fido, you're a bit of a nerd, aren't you? Can you take us through this?
Yeah, nerd's my middle name. I mean, there's a lot of icons on your screen, so it can get a bit confusing. I think the most important thing is Fizz has been nerfed multiple patches in a row, so not really a priority ban for any of our solo queue viewers. And for competitive, we've got the Karma buffs that came in clutch. It's a flex champion, really strong at the moment. Of course, TF getting a auto attack reset on his W is absolutely insane. Would not be surprised if we see priority on TF today. Ezreal big buffs as well, has some great builds at the moment, so it's about it, I reckon, for this patch.
Yeah, what about you, Skimmy? Anything you want to touch on before we jump on into the system changes?
Yeah, I suppose just touching on the TF a little bit more, I'd be quite keen to see some AD TF. We've seen a few clips of that from solo queue from players down under, so yeah, keen to see kind of some diversity in that regard, but also just kind of shakes up the meta. We've had a lot of these control mages in mid, should put a bit more stress on globals and macros, and just attending to the side lanes, which have been a bit of a weakness for a few teams.
Okay, well, we'll see if those side lanes get fixed up today, but let's have a look at what has been fixed with the system changes, including a couple of items, some that I haven't even purchased yet. What's this Blood Song? Quickly tell me what the changes are of the Blood Song here.
Well, Blood Song is pretty much just not really not as viable on AD carries anymore. It's just a support item. It's an upgrade from the support item that gives you a Sheen proc, and it was quite popular to take on AD carry, and basically just give you a lot of gold in the early game that you wouldn't otherwise have. But it has been adjusted, so we shouldn't see that in the patch. We should just see normal builds from AD carries. And I guess the only other big change here is Horizon Focus got a nice buff. That's good for Hui if we see any Hui gamers in the LCO. And Storm Surge got a pretty big nerf, I'd say. So most champions that build Storm Surge should just go for Lich Bane, maybe Shadow Flame if your champ can't abuse Lich Bane. But yeah, like if you're if you enjoy playing with Storm Surge, you think the proc looks cool, it's not good this patch.
Okay, well that's fine. That's fine. Skimmy, what about you? You're a bit of a support in other games. What are the support item changes here that we just saw on our screens?
Well, essentially, Mac, it was so broken that even in competitive, we had both bot laners picking it up as an item of choice. They're just AFK in lane, passively farming up, getting themselves to a point where like, oh, I lose lane, but I just win the game because I have 10k gold more than you. Even in solo queue, it was being built by like 4 people, and they'd be up by like absurd amounts, like 10, 20k gold. So Riot said, hey, that's not how it was meant to be, and they've changed it, Mac. They are the fun
police. If it is broken, do fix it. Yes. You know what they say. That's the saying that more people say than the other one, which could be very similar to that. But look, we got some solo queue tips because Fido is an absolute legend and wants to tell you guys why these are the hot picks for the week.
Well, if you're an off-roll player and you get any one of these roles, you get ADC, just slam Ezreal. You can't go wrong with it. Very easy, very safe, very hard to kill. You always scale up, and you know, if you're playing support, consider Karma, consider Maokai. Maokai kind of flavor of the month, forcing Riot to actually nerf support Maokai in 14.3. So while you have a couple of days left on the live patch, you can try to abuse them, abuse those saplings for free vision. You've got, you know, essentially free wards. You've got the Maokai all great engage frontline. You know, he's really good at just taking free damage in lane and then just sustaining it back, whereas other supports would run out of HP. So yeah, great options there. And Twisted Fate, have a bit of fun with them in solo queue as well. Not getting changed, but very strong champion in 14.3. So that's something you can start practicing now and still have for patches to come. AP, AD, on hit, crit. He's got the whole package.
And the good thing about TF when you're playing solo queue is you have no communication with a lot of your teammates, and you can press that R button and just help them out when they, of course, misposition, get put in the wrong spot. You know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Now, Skimmy, any solo queue tips from you before we move on to the next segment?
Yeah, well, as a player that plays a huge amount of solo queue, all I can say is that just lock in Karma, mate. It's just a free low. Play it top, bot. Honestly, just play it top lane as well. You just get your first item, 2 items perhaps, and you've just won the game. You don't need to farm anymore. So here you go, mate. Here's a shield. Oh, there's a cheeky little empowered Q. Oh, half your HP is gone. What a shame. Now, you can see Fido smiling because he knows just how broken it is. He actually doesn't want to cast today, Mac. He would rather be in the interview link talking about how he's going to actually win today's games. But he's here.
Why would you do that when we have From the Fans coming up, Fido? That's just disrespectful to everyone at home that has sent in their submissions. From the Fans, of course, is what got you into LoL in the first place. Share your story. Now, we have a bunch of submissions, but Fido, what got you into LoL?
Well, I was a big StarCraft player actually before LoL, and there was a little mod for StarCraft, which was kind of like a Dota mod for StarCraft, where you would just play the individual hero, right, and you'd have the abilities, and then LoL came out, and I played Malzahar, and I remember I pressed WEQ Alt on someone, and they died, and it was very satisfying, and I was hooked.
Dopamine straight
And that
away.
was that.
Yeah.
That was that. Now, let's have a quick look at who has sent in some great submissions from everyone at home. We got Brendy saying we joined the LCO, so I had to learn. That sounds pretty similar to me, except I had old mate Spawn. Shout outs to Spawn if he's at home watching. He was like, hey, I want you to cast League. So I was like, all right, well, I might try that. And then started playing League, and that was about that. That's
Spawn's
the
good
whole
like that,
story.
isn't he? I remember when I joined the OPL for that final year, he was like, hey, you don't know anything about League, do you? Do you want to have a little bit of coaching, a bit of assistance? I was like, yeah, mate. And then boom. We're just
shit.
besties.
Cheers, Cobber. Bloody
Yeah.
beautiful. Thanks
Have
for
we got a
that.
bit of a love triangle going on? It's like you, me, and Spawn at the top, and we're like sharing his attention.
I don't know. Can we say that without Rusty getting jealous?
Oh crap!
Because he'd want to be in a square. You
My
know,
love affair
rather
of
than-
many years. I'm sorry, Rusty. I'm sorry.
Ah,
Oops.
Rust Daddy. Persenbutt, what got him into LoL? Let's have a look. Having a team in the LCO, that's the exact same as the last dancer. Stop copying homework. I am now on track to become the #1 Garen in the region. Hashtag trust the process. I trusted the process and then we'll get out of silver. So I don't know about that hashtag.
Oh.
What about you, Fido? You think
Oh.
Garen's good right now?
Yeah, look, this Freaky Garen, he's a bit of a legend in the Oceanic server, a bit of a streamer, banned now from streaming, but still in our solo queue games, and he's definitely the best Garen, so you've got a lot of work to do.
Okay, well, on that note, we've got one stellar game coming up, and of course that's coming up just after the break. We got Mammoth, we got Ground Zero going toe-to-toe just after this. We'll see you in a minute.
You coming at me with a heart of stone. Won't you let me know what you're thinking? Won't you keep me up? I'm sinking. Don't tell me no. You're giving it to the heat, giving it up to the beat. You're killing me. Don't shut me out. For God's sake, 'cause when she gets in my it's just the power, it's just the power play. Yeah, when she gets into my head, I feel the power, I feel the power play. When she gets in my head, it's just the power, it's just the power play. Won't she get out of my unshackled, wasted, wishing all alone. This ocean is swirling. Just let me know what you're thinking. Your powers reaching, twisting for a love. Like some magic potion, I'm falling for your poison. I just want you to know I'm through with these head games. 'Cause when she gets in my head, it's just the power, it's just the power play. Yeah, when she gets into my head, I feel the power, I feel the power play. When she gets in my head, it's just the power, it's just the power play. Won't she get out of my head? So I'm just a falling fool and I'm falling for nothing.
Here's the reason that Kevy's after becomes the Varus. Full stand on the stopwatch. It's carnage. They're all charmed at his command. Oh, kaboom! It's do or die.
Mammoth up against GZ, about to be popping on your screens. And maybe in ways you've never seen before, who knows. We've got a fresh face coming back to Mammoth. You know him, you love him. Let's have a look at the lineup here to see who it is. You've probably heard some rumblings on the Twitter sphere, but it is Dajong there in the mid lane. And we know that he was heavily carry for Mammoth in the past. So Fido, let me know your thoughts on Mammoth and how they're going to go today against GZ.
Yeah, Mammoth definitely getting a lot more experience there with Dajong back in the mid lane. I know he brings a lot of positivity to the team as well. I've had him fill scrims, I've seen him play, I've seen him on comms. He's a really positive guy, tries to look for the next play even when things go wrong. And I guess one thing that we can't not mention is Lichbane is strong, and Zoe loves Lichbane. And you know, Dajong is one of the best Zoes to ever touch the game. So perhaps
The GOAT.
he will treat us, he'll treat us with our champion today.
Okay. We'll see if that is exactly what we get or not. But for now, Skimmy, tell me about GZ, who's going to be on the opposite side of the rift for these 2 games. And look, it's been a while since I've watched or at least worked here on the LCO. And there is some names. There are some big names on this roster for GZ this year.
A lot of big dogs here, Max. Some that you'll be definitely familiar with in terms of Tien, Shenfire, Kisei Limis, and Ben Vin. A bit of a mixed bucket, this team, right? 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. And it has really been against a whole variety of different teams as well, right? You get the big 2 up against Kanga, then 2 out against Antic, the only game they played against, and then up against Team Bliss, it was a 1-1. So you're kind of unsure where to exactly put them. Maybe just middle of the park is a fair estimation, but based on how much talent this team has, you would say that for today's game, it should be a bit of a stomp, to put it kind of lightly. Just the experience is just a little bit too much to overcome. Even with the reintroduction of Dajong, I think Kisei's been in incredible form despite their losses. And I just think, overall in class, just a lot more aggressive in the early game, which is going to cause some of these teams, a few headaches.
And there's also, look, Shern there that you need to talk about. He was doing big work for PGG when he came back from overseas, and just that wealth of experience going and, you know, helping to teach rather the other players on that roster. It's invaluable, especially for players like Kisei, who has had some international experience himself now, but he's still young. He's still early in his career here as a League of Legends player. So look, it's going to be a fun one. Now, out of these 2 teams, we believe that GZ is probably that favorite. I think on paper, they're definitely the favorites there, Fido. But if you had to spin me a yarn about how Mammoth were going to cause an upset today, how's it happening?
Well, what have we seen from Mammoth so far? We've seen Nectar definitely playing well on the Gwen. Nectar also picking up Udyr, which is a brand new champion, you know, just in the last couple of patches, definitely takes some effort to learn. So we've seen that they're willing to play the meta there. We've seen Guro play different champs every game. So the drafting should be there. It's just, I think you have to put Dajong on a comfortable champion, you have to put Guro on a comfortable champion, put Nectar on a comfortable champion, and maybe roll the dice in the early game, see what happens, take some risks.
Okay, well, we'll see if comfort is key, but let's have a quick look at some stats between these guys. Now, Skimmy, what do these letters mean? What do the numbers mean? I'm seeing a lot of zeros for Mammoth here.
It's not good, Mac. It is not a pretty outcome in terms of a side-by-side between both of these teams. So what you're looking at really is what gives this strong early game for Ground Zero. And it's all the subjective control, right? First tower, first 3 towers, in fact, 83% of the time. So it shows you that in the early game, they have such a strong command of what they want to do. Opens up the map, makes it easier to set up priority, to get tempo, to then control these other objectives, things like the Dragon and the Herald. The one that's the real big kicker for me that me and Fido are having a bit of a scrutiny at would be the Baron, right? 75% of the time it's been Ground Zero going for the Baron and then getting it. As for Mammoth, 0%, right? So you're seeing that there's no real early game strength because they're flipping it for the first tower. They're never interested in the Herald because the game maybe is blown out of proportion by that time. And by late game, there is no sort of insurance policy to try and get yourself back in by flipping the Baron or even contesting it in the first place. So it's a bit of a worrying concern. Big reason why Ground Zero had one of the strongest early games in this league. A lot of volatility there, but their weakness, their downfall definitely has been a late game. So if things were to go there, and much like Fido said again, right, if Mammoth were to get some comfort champions on their board to play their game, maybe, just maybe, there's an upset on the cards.
Yeah, so it just feels like that there's not a lot of focus on those neutral objectives. It feels like Mammoth are trying to put the pieces together, try to figure out how the team play side of things works. And look, going up against the likes of GZ, I think team play might not be where the focus should be, because GZ, I feel like with the experience, is just going to have a lot more to throw at you. We have Kisei here, which we're highlighting for GZ. Fido, 743 damage per minute third in the league so far. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, definitely. He's the main threat on this team, at least for the first couple of weeks that we've seen. And just have a look at the kills as well. 34. I mean, the man's fragging out. This looks like a double overtime in Counter-Strike, but it's League of Legends. So yeah, he's definitely the highlight, and we'll have to see how Daljun can fare against that.
We'll see indeed. Now, Kisei, is he still, he's there in terms of the kills right at the top, but GZ not at the top of the leaderboard. So having that one draw, can it come back to bite them later on here in the league?
Possibly,
Yep.
yeah, very much possibly, right? Strength of schedule's been a case of versing their, I would say, direct two rivals in Bliss and what have you. But I mean, ultimately, you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, top three in terms of kills. It's Violet with 37, obviously for Team Bliss, and it's Kisei and Lemus 34 and 33. So there's no problem in terms of Grand Zero getting their carries fed and then getting the carries to get the kills. I think there's no issue there. It's just a case of making sure that they don't lose their head in the mid to late game. And it feels like it's starting to shorten up, given the fact that they did that draw against Bliss. So maybe this is the start of their redemption arc where, those results don't bite them back.
Okay, and what about you, Fido? Do you think that there is going to be a large diffy somewhere? And tell me where that diffy is going to be.
I think the large diffy is all around, but what I'm hoping to see is maybe an impact performance from Tian in the top lane, because I really do have a lot of respect for him as a player. I think he's very good, and I think he hasn't shown it this split just yet, and hopefully today will be the day.
Okay. Now, I saw something about the bounty update that's come in with this patch where, is it helping people that are 1v9ing, or is it making it harder for people to 1v9? I saw there was some Twitter, Riot Dev on Twitter responded to someone about that.
Well, that's a good question. I haven't really noticed the bounties change that much, like from playing on live patch. But I think it's reduced depending on how behind you are.
Yeah, an extra 10%.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to matter in competitive that much, because usually when people are very far ahead for the bounties to pop, like that game, they close out that game, because there's less variables in competitive. But for solo queue, it definitely affects it.
Okay. Now, quickly moving along, let's talk about side select and where we're going to be going for game 1 in this best of 2.
Shock and horror.
And game 1 will be Mammoth on the blue side, and then GZ for game 2 have gone on the blue side as well. So is blue side prior right now? You want to get those picks out early?
Yeah, it's just so broken, isn't it, Fight? I mean, every single team is just making sure that they get their side, their priority, their sort of preference. And I think we had like an absurd win rate when I last checked. It was like something like 70% of teams on blue side were winning.
Yep.
So despite them changing up the map, it's just a case of so many strong champions. But I guess it's a new patch. Items have been changed. Storm Surge, snowballing, maybe not as prevalent. So who knows if blue side is still the go-to. Maybe we actually will see some good red side drafting to hit that fifth pick wonder draft come together glue that sort of really binds it all together.
Yeah, lovely. Exactly what you want to see. And someone that I want to see is Kisei, and we've got him here for the pre-match interview. Kisei, mate, it's been a hot minute. How you feeling going into today's matchup?
Feeling pretty good, man. I haven't seen you in ages too, so yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a break which I wish didn't go for so long. I wish, we had more lands and such in Australia. But look, going up against Mammoth today, how are you feeling? Is the team working together well with Prac? Is it just going to be another stepping stone to try to take the W today?
We actually haven't versed Mammoth like a lot in scrims. Pretty sure we've only scrimmed them like once, so we don't know what they're gonna play today. So we might get a little surprised.
Nice.
Oh, he's doing the
Mac.
thing again. He's doing the
He's
awkward
lagged
stare
out,
again. Uh-oh. Come on, Mac. Don't do this to us.
What do you mean? I thought you were going to ask a question.
Well, I can ask Big Ron a question. Mr.
I thought-
TikTok superstar. I hope you still are there, Kisei, mate. But hey, talk to me a little bit. We're looking at your stats before. And we were imagining initially this match was going to be you into E-Hop, but going to Daljun, does that change much? Obviously, you versed him in previous splits.
Oh yeah, I don't know, I don't know what happened to E-Hop. I thought he was gonna get get more chance to play the LCO. I felt like he was a fine player, and yeah, it's kind of sad to see him go so early. But versing Daljun, I think I really know how he plays.
Beauty. Easy as.
Fido,
Nice.
mate,
What
your,
about
your turn.
What about the
Just-
Zoe? Are you concerned with the Zoe at all? The Dajong special? Is that going to be on your ban list? Because I know last year teams would just respect banning, slamming it in the first phase.
Oh yeah, I remember Dajon like playing Zoe against me. He kind of solo killed me, so maybe we'll ban it.
Okay, we'll wait and see.
All right, well, we'll see once we get there to the PBs. But for the moment, Kiste, it was great to have you on. I'm sorry for Skimmy. He fell asleep at the wheel. That's not a
Don't
very
throw
safe
this on
thing
me.
to do.
Come on, mate.
But look, good luck. Good luck today in your game.
Okay, thank you, Mac. Good to have you back.
So, yeah. Oh, thank you. It's good to
It's
see
the
you.
fadeaway. Good to have you back.
Good
Bye,
to-
bye,
bye.
bye, bye, bye.
Goodbye.
Good to
What a chill guy.
Good to have
What a
you
nice
back.
guy. I've never talked to Kisse before.
I loved
That
how he
guy
just
is-
sort of
I
sat
didn't
there.
expect him.
He just endured the cringe and was just like, I'll let these guys figure it out. Like, I'm just here.
That was it. That was
Yeah.
it. Now, look, great to have Kisse back. And good to see him evolving as a player. Had more words in that interview than what we used to get out of him. So it's good to see. Look, he's growing
Because
up.
you're back.
He's growing up, man. He's growing. It's good to see it when players grow up. But look, now we've got Mammoth, who we should be having a chat with at some point. But if not, then we're not. And that's okay. But look, if we did get to talk to him, Fido, you've played with Dajong, you know, in solo queue before. Surely you know exactly what he would say if I asked, how are you going to win today?
Absolutely. I even did my first cast with Dajong on the analyst desk. So
There you go.
we have a little bit of bonding there, and I think Dajong will just say, "Gank mid, I carry."
That's easy.
Facts.
Easy. Absolute backs, spitting them, loving them. And we have him on the line. So let's
Ooh.
see if he's going to say the exact same thing that you just said. Dajong,
There he
welcome
is.
back to
There
the
we go.
LCO, mate. I heard you've been not on a team until this week. How you feeling?
I'm feeling alright. My net just crashed like 5 minutes ago while I was waiting for the interview. So I'm on hotspot right now.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
No, I think the power outage, so I just swapped the port and it's going to be up in like 5 minutes. Just doing the interview with hotspot right now. But yeah, happy to see you guys. Happy to see Skimmy especially.
My man,
Wow.
that's my goat right there.
There you go. There you go. Look, I got one question for you. Other than knowing now that if we have a tech pause, I know who to blame. How is it slotting into the roster? Have you had much time to prac during the last week with everyone, or are you sort of just coming in really fresh for this game?
We've definitely had a few scrims over the week. Like, it's just, you have to sign like a week before you play. So I actually wanted to play in the Fury match last week, but the timing just didn't work out. So definitely had a decent amount of practice with my team and excited to play today.
Very good. Skimmy, mate, your turn to ask a question.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Big Dajong, what brings you back? What brings you back to this team in particular? And were you even considering playing the split?
I was basically trying to decide if I want to take a break or like retire or whatever. I went to Korea for a long time to meet like fam and stuff. So I was really not sure. And then I joined LCO because like a few of my mates still playing, and I saw Skimmy on cast, and I was like, damn, I have to wake up every day knowing I'm not getting interviewed by
My
Skimmy
man,
today.
he's juicing me up so hard. I need you to get some solo kills so I can scream your name for the clips, mate. Come on.
I'll try my best.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was coming back to this team, but just how everything worked out, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, nice.
There you
Awesome.
go. Hopefully some solo bolos on the horizon. What about you, Fido? Anything to ask the big man?
Or do you reckon it's going to be your career trip, the career buff, that gets you the win today?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I didn't play much solo queue at all there. I'm not gonna lie. Because there was a lot of complications with my account and everything. But I mean, I met Daystar there. I met Jimyong. He gave me a lot of confidence on my play, so a bit of a reason why I came back, I guess.
Wow. Okay. Daystar buff it is.
True.
Beautiful. We'll see if that's going to be more than enough. But Dajong, good luck in your game today. You got a hard one ahead of you with Kisse on the other side of mid.
Thank you, guys. See you.
Bye-bye. And hopefully his internet holds up for the game, because that'd be very unfortunate if they had to call a last-minute sub because his net was just dropping out. Classic Australian internet, huh? We love it. Absolutely love it. Well, let's have a look. You guys get those Twitch points in. Up, where's the edge of my frame? There.
Yeah.
Fido, do it.
Join in with us, mate.
Yep.
Embrace.
Yep, up there.
Don't fight it.
Gamba, 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 gamba. Get those Twitch points in. Let us know how you think this game's going to go, and then you can use the Twitch points for things such as... Let me double check the channel. What are we using the Twitch points for these days? Everything's changed. You can highlight your messages. You can flex with 1 million points. You know, do one of them in chat. A 3 million point flex.
I think we need more, Mac. I think we need more rewards. Like,
I think we do.
you and me, Meow and Bark together. I don't know, like, we do all this. Like, we need some reason for people to really want to win so they can watch us be silly.
We need instruction.
Yeah.
Yeah. From you guys in chat. Also, your fan vote is relevant because we're doing the predictions now. This is what we're thinking. I saw who was on that GZ team, and I just thought there's just too much experience, too much power. I don't know how Mammoth are going to be able to pull that W. Even though Skimmy did try to spin me a good yarn on that one. So did Fido. They tried to riz me up. But unfortunately, I'm unrizzable.
Well, we can work on that. We can work on that throughout this broadcast. And I think it's a tough one, though, Mac. Like you said, I mean, mid-lane matchups will either be a bit of a roughie, right? Welcome back to the mid-lane for Dajung in terms of taking on Kese. But yeah, just everywhere else, I think Tien's not really been in the best form. But he's always been a player that can certainly carry on his day. He has a very creative champion pool. I remember back in the day, we'd even have like things like Lilia top, for example, right? He's not afraid to try wild stuff. And this could certainly be a great game where you are looking at it and saying it is a little bit lopsided to experiment with something different.
Yeah, and experimenting is how you test those limits, which is my favorite thing in League of Legends. If anyone's played with me, I've done that many times and found out what not to do a lot of the time. Fido, do you know what not to do in League of Legends to win?
Well, try not to press a mute all button, mute all communications at the start of the game, because then it's very hard to win, and I hate people that do that at 0 seconds in the game.
Yeah, that would annoy me as well. Sounds like my solo queue experience in many, many games. Now, we have a few more from the fans to look at while we're sorting out Dajong's internet. Let's see how you guys got into League of Legendos. Who else is here? Clefairy. I went through a breakup and wanted to feel something again. Anger, rage, emotions.
Wow.
Certainly what you find when you play solo queue in League of Legends. Thank you.
The logic there is like, I feel bad enough as it is. It can't get any worse, surely. And then you're just like, it's getting worse.
I'm waiting for the second line to pop up and it just be some huge zinger. But I don't think there's a second line.
You take that for what it is.
On a dark note. And if you ever need to talk to someone, DM me. I'll help you out. Because, look, breakups are hard, man. Breakups are hard. Skimmy knows.
Yeah, me and Rusty, I mean, I'm still not over that. I'm still very cut. I can't fake cry. I try. My acting is a oh. Wait. Max actually committing to the bit, though. Hang on a minute. Production! Where's our next graphic?
I'm fine.
Oh, welcome back,
It's just Zach, man. I just can't do it without him. Oh, Tyler 1 full sending mid. Yep. Jacko, I agree. Watching that. Full sending or doing the run it down thing. There's a specific difference there. One is acceptable. One is
I imagine there'd be a lot of people that got
slightly
into League from watching either Tyler 1 or any kind of popular League streamer back in the day, right? Yeah, a whole bunch that were just going absolutely crazy, big numbers. So, be an easy way to get baited into it.
I remember watching, is it Cutie Pie? I'm a Cutie Pie. I remember watching him. He was always funny, just because he'd always be like sarcastic and real short with people and all that. What about you, Fido? What was your moment where you were like, yeah, this is the game?
Well, I think when you first get your rank as well in League, right? You spend so long getting, playing the norms, getting to level 30, and then you play your first rank game, and it's like, it's a relief of all that anxiety, and then you're like, wait, it's not so hard, it's not so bad, it's not so different to normal games, and then that's your rank journey starts, and you get hooked in the game.
Yeah, get hooked indeed. Now, I've got a question that I've had up my sleeve for a little while. Now, you know how people talk about X, talk about red flags and all that business. If there was one champ and you see someone lock that in when you're in champ select and you just go, ugh, need to get out of this lobby, raise that red flag as high as possible. What champ we talking? What champ do you see them lock in and you're like, oh, I'm gone?
What do you reckon, Fido? What do you reckon, mate?
Well, I'm gonna counter that. I'm gonna counter that because I think that everybody's gonna say Yumi, right? Now the problem is is when you have somebody hovering Draven and Draven gets banned. And then regardless of what champion they lock in, you are in trouble. Okay? Because, yeah, when a Draven player is not playing Draven, the game is harder to win.
Uh-oh.
So that's your red flag.
That's my take. That's my take. That's when you dodge.
All right, all right. What about you, Skimmy? What's your little insight for the red
Singed.
flag champ?
I see that, and I think this guy is not going to proxy. They are going to run it down and be like, oh, bro, I hit the ghost, though. Like, I don't know what happened. I died. Yeah, look, mate, it ain't working.
It ain't working.
It's not
Well,
happening.
I think mine's Teemo. It's either going to go one of two ways, which is a huge coin flip. And I love a good Teemo. But I hate a terrible Teemo. And
Hey,
I
you
hate
do
a
a good
terrible
Teemo
Teemo more
cosplay,
than...
to be fair. At BMO?
I did.
Remember that?
That was a
Hey,
long time ago.
That was pretty goated, I'm not going to lie. If you know, you know.
I looked pretty strapping in that get-up, didn't I?
You did, mate.
I like that one.
Look at you.
We should have another cosplay
We
day while I'm
should,
here.
mate.
We should.
Impromptu cosplay, bang, I'll start. Get that in you, mate.
Wow.
Get it done.
Focus, come on!
Do you remember when you were Mundo? That was
I
the
committed to
exact
that
same
bit, didn't
time.
I?
loved that.
I had
That was
face paint
cool.
and everything.
Fido.
Oh, there we go, cupcake.
If
that's
there was a
something
cosplay day while we were all just chilling here, what would you be dressing up as? What do you have in your house that you could throw together as a quick cosplay without going too hard?
I would be a roaming bard,
Ooh.
and this would be my musical instrument. It's a ceramic cat that is actually a flute.
Oh!
So
Well, I'm going to let you play that as I disappear back to the Nether Realms because it is time for Champ Select. Bye.
Play us into Champ Select, Fido. Give us a tune.
hold on, it's not working. I'm a little bit rusty. It's
Oh,
coming. It's coming.
Come on, I'm listening. Anticipation.
There we go.
It's
The
building.
Champ Select is ready.
Yes!
Let's get into it. Mammoth Esports against Ground Zero Gaming, our only game of the week, of the day, excuse me. And hopefully they'll make it interesting.
Hopefully they will. You talked about two champions in particular for this brand new patch, 14.2. Karma and Maokai were the top of the table. You said for Karma, really, really strong flex is going to get nerfed in the next patch, right? So you can expect to see that be banned or picked for both mid and bot lane. And then the Maokai as well, which is already really, really strong in the jungle. Both Schönfire and Gudo have played it, but in the last week, they didn't look too hot on it. So maybe a denial on two separate fronts. But the first pick onto Milio. Let's see what Ground Zero then go with the response.
Yeah, I think they did this last time as well. We weren't too happy with that one, especially with the Bloodsong nerfs, right, Skimmy? So Milio Lucian definitely less powerful on this patch. And we see Ground Zero hovering the Ezreal, potentially adapting to the new changes, to all the buffs coming in. Hopefully we see some creative drafting from them, but no, they go for the Xayah.
Yeah.
A very standard AD carry.
There's a few considerations there for a second, weren't there, in terms of maybe a Zac in the top lane, and can certainly be very punishing with the amount of sustain and no need to really worry about your mana pool. But ultimately, say, just going to lock in the Xayah Rakan, safe, secure, and can definitely fend for yourself. And this is, I guess, a strong pick for Limus because what? He had like 5 AD carry bans towards him, still dropped a nuke with 10 kills.
Yeah, absolutely. Comfort champion for Limus, and very strong pairing in the bot lane. Sure, can get outranged, but definitely decentivizes dive comps. We see the Aphelios locked in, which is the other pairing with Emilio that's not Lucian. A lot of AD carries taken off the board, so makes sense. The Mammoth want to lock in their bot lane in the first phase. And we'll see what blind champion they want to go for. Ground Zero do have a red 3, so blinding top might be a little bit risky here. Hopefully we see a jungle pick out of Mammoth and save both the soul laners into the next phase.
Yeah, certainly a lot of hovers at the moment, aren't they? Really cycling through pretty much everything under the sun. But Udyr is what they will certainly settle on. And if this is to be expected in the top lane, the Nectar certainly experienced with it. Experienced a cheeky little bit of deja vu with the 1v2 dive in top lane. And we know how poorly that goes because Udyr is insane. But maybe, like you kind of predicted, or maybe even hoped for, maybe there's a world in which we could get an Udyr jungle flex.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's the answer. He was hovering the Rumble. I wasn't too happy about that because we saw last time when Tien picked the Rumble into the Udyr. Didn't work out too well. We've got the Zac coming in, no doubt, an answer to the Udyr top. I have not seen this before, so I'm not too sure how the matchup goes, but I assume they've had some practice on it, and yeah, we'll see if that's the play.
Yeah, seem to pop up a little bit more now as a way to try and shut down these champions like the Udyr, like the K'Sante in that top lane. So strong. There's been, murmurs of maybe even Darius coming back to the top lane as well to try and shut down this Udyr. But Zac being the preference today. Poppy coming out, which is funny given that we know that TN absolutely loves that champion, but we're making sure that Mammoth do not have any fun with that one. Obviously, so much mobility, even with these first 3 picks here. So that would have been a little bit too strong. But now we're going to start to really digress a little bit further, right? Jarvan taken off the board, Azir as well, if we're considering sort of those, typical mid-lane matchups. That might be the avenue they go down.
Yeah, interesting Orianna ban. Not sure what that one's for, but the ground 0 bans just make sense. They're banning just disengaged champions. They've got the Poppy, the Azir off the board. Champions, they can prevent Zac from jumping in and connecting with that Aphelios. Whereas Mammoth, the Jarvan ban makes sense. Looks like ground 0 locking the brand. That's the Schönfire Classic. He's played that a lot in solo queue. Hasn't quite picked it on stage just yet, I think, but a very, very strong champ. Actually had to be hot fixed on this patch in live because it was so strong by Riot. So we'll see what he can get done with that.
Yeah, and this is a champion we've been asking for a very long time. I think you had your little cheeky rant, wasn't it? Where they spawn and it's gone. And you're like, hang on a minute.
It's gone.
What's happened?
Yep.
How is this disappeared? What a broken champion. But yeah, really, really strong clear. Obviously gives you the AP that you need for your team. And I think from what you're already seeing from Mammoth, there's certainly some good chance for it to sort of splash around onto all these melee champs.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Yone here. Yone mid, I'd imagine. I mean, you already have a lot of magic damage with the Udyr and the Sejuani. If they pick an AP mid, it's going to be a solo Aphelios. That doesn't make much sense. So the Yone has great synergy with Sejuani passive. Gets that Permafrost E proc very quickly, stacks it up. So pretty balanced comp for Mammoth. But again, the Aphelios melee don't really suit what Yone wants to do. Whereas ground 0, it's a little bit more cohesive.
Yeah, a little bit more cohesive at this stage. You're wondering really what is their final pick to try and round things out. Obviously the mid-jungle combination of, or even top lane as well, right? Wherever the Sejuani goes, there is a bit of CC to set things up. And a set comes out at the very last second. And wow, this is a champion we've not seen in a long time.
That is set mid for Kisei, isn't it? That's a very strong matchup into the Yone, into the Yasuo. Absolute nightmare to play. I've played on the receiving end of that matchup, and yeah, those are some very strong lanes for ground 0, I have to say. We've got 2 counter picks for both solo lanes. A pretty comfortable matchup for Brand in the jungle, right? Sejuani, not a champion that can punish fast clear junglers, so we'll see how Mammoth go. I mean, they have to make it explosive in the early game to change the tempo.
What are you expecting then as a whole in terms of what comp you prefer? Because clearly what we can see from Mammoth is an indication that they want bot lane to sort of self-sustain, keep to its own self, but really play around this Sejuani looking for top and mid, as opposed to ground 0, which you imagine is just harass, punishment potential, and really good wave clear for the brand to try and match.
Yeah, I think both teams have locked in some comfort, right? We've got Mammoth. Dajong has played heaps of the Own before, so I think he knows how to play it. Gudo's done the reps on Sejuani. We saw Nectar play Udyr the other week, so they've all picked known quantity champions, but my concern is, where do you gank a Sejuani, right? You've got Zyra Khan, once they hit 6, that ungankable lane pretty much, right? You've got Emilio support, he doesn't offer anything. Maybe Aphelios, if he has the purple gun, he can set it up potentially. But then the other 2 lanes, the 2 solo lanes, I counted, they're both losing. So if I'm Sejuani in this game, where do I actually go? I feel a little bit lost on the map.
Yeah, a bit of a rough one in terms of really how this one could all play out. Actually, a bit of a fun fact, last time would have been played for Dajong this year, and it was actually into Kisei. So there you have it, right? All the way back in 2023, split 1, a hot minute ago, and that was into a Sylas matchup. And if memory serves me correctly, it wasn't the biggest 1v1. It very much was the case of the Chiefs as a whole winning out that game. So maybe there's a world in which Dajong has got some unfinished business and perhaps trying to tap into the fact that, look, Kisei, you're in hot form right now. Do you think that this set is the answer? And from what you're saying, maybe a resounding yes.
Yeah, I think so. And you also got to remember that Kisei used to play heaps of top lane. So I imagine he's got quite a bit of experience on this champion. It's not something like you've seen in another region, you lock it first time. No, this is a pick he's prepared and he's ready to dominate.
Well, it's exciting. It means a case of perhaps a shift in the meta where mid lane isn't all about these control mages anymore. Perhaps an indication that melee bruisers are coming back to really try and punish what can be done on the stage game. Let's load in for the only series of the night. It's a best of 2 between Mammoth still searching for their first point. 3 games and 3 defeats. As for ground 0, looking for a little bit of stability, really. 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. A mixed bucket, but the clear favorites here tonight.
Yeah, and you saw that purchase from the set. He actually went with Doran's Blade, which is very, very rare for sets. Most of the time, you do see the D shield come out because he's just so durable, just able to consistently keep taking short trades and heal up off the Doran's shield plus second wind. But he goes with the D Blade. Complete confidence pick. He's really thinking that he can dominate this lane and maybe even look for a solo kill.
So talk to us about the early game then. What is sort of your expectations that you're looking for to try and get this game started?
Well, whenever I see Tian cook up a counter pick into Udyr, it seems that this is how it goes. The Udyr presses his old button and runs down whichever champion it is. So not the best start for top lane. I reckon Ground Zero should be looking for early trades and bot.
They certainly should be. Benvi completely undeterred. Two-man knockup, that's massive. Will they all in for that first blood? They certainly don't need to. The Ignite came out, the Ghost was there too. A lot of summoners burnt by either side, and Duck now has to completely rely on Pot, as well as the lifesteal weapon.
Yeah, he does have the red gun, which is a bit of a saving grace for him, but not a good trade for bot side. You know, you've traded 3/4 of your AD carries health for 3/4 of the support. Always going to favor Ground Zero.
Yeah, it just means that Benvi can be so aggressive right now. Limus can determine really how this wave stacking is going to go about. And if you go up for a trade, it's just not one you're going to win. Big wave building. Thanks to really answer the question as to, with level 3 not too far away, do these junglers even look to try and gank a lane?
Yeah, well, Guro did an interesting path. It looks like he might be going for a level 3 bot gank with his clear because it's not very efficient. He kind of went Raptors, Krugs, then back to red. Now he's looking maybe a transition gank mid. But it's quite dangerous because Yo in early levels, like I said, just loses this matchup. His HP pool is just worse. And yeah, Sejuani coming in for the gank.
Looking for it. Flash available. Instantly dashing out of that one. The Soul on bounty. Still going for it. Double flash. Make it happen. Face breaker. Passive stun. Gudo is going to try and do it all on his own. And there it is. First blood at 2 minutes.
That looked so messy. I mean, Yearn flashed forward without Q3, but still they get the kill. And Skimmy, that is the Doran's Blade purchase from Kisei. If he had a D-shield there, I'm confident he would still survive, but yeah, really tries to play to win the lane, gets ganked, and gets punished.
Yeah, very aggressive in the laning phase. I suppose putting a massive beacon and said that come gank this lane. Gudo takes the advantage of it, says level 3 is there. Why not? Great start for them, and certainly could make Darjung's life a little bit easier.
Yeah, and meanwhile we see Shenfire doing his full clear. Perhaps going to get the double scuttle here as well for free, just at the cost of the Sejuani gank. So he's pretty happy with how the game's going. Top lane, looks like Zax's acquired a bit of a CS lead over Udyr, which is surprising, right? Considering we saw that early trade, heavily favoring Nectar, so you'd expect him to kind of continue the domination of this lane, but maybe this counter pick has some juice to it.
Certainly looks to be the case, right? So much sustain, so despite how much pressure Nectar's putting out, may just simply be a case that Zach can endure it all. And yeah, really sort of look to try and shrug things off. Now, I'm curious as to how Shern looks to try and play things out as the brand, right? No need for an early gank, much like the Sejuani is hunting for. Will it be a case, do you reckon, of him saying, well, the grubs aren't going to be up too far away now. I just need to rush towards that, keep farming, get level 6, and get the Haunting guys ASAP.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, Skimmy. I think Shern just needs to do these bot camps as soon as possible so that he can get to the grubs on spawn and take that camp out, not risk being sniped away by Sejuani, because the thing is, top lane, Nectar.
Yeah, we've got to be really careful here for a second, because that is going to be the passive of the Zac coming out to play. It's going to be a little bit out of range in terms of him looking for that fight. Double flash. Running away all over the show right now is bot and top fight, but Nectar gets the kill. No doubt we'll get the replay. You can only imagine that as that final blob comes in, look how much is going to be denied.
Yeah, I was so, I was so uncertain there because he did explode in the Zac passive right near the tower, right? So you just weren't sure, can Udyr actually tank the tower and finish off the blobs before the respawn? Because if he can't, he actually doesn't have flash there, right? So there's actually a chance that Tien can maybe jump on him and get a solo kill back, but looks like he made it just at the nick of time, and bot lane constant aggression from Benvi on this Rakan, looking for opportunities on Duck 1 without his flash.
Yeah, he's really going for it, right? Making sure that these summoners are going to be one that work in their favor. Make it a little bit easier if a gank were to go their way. So Shern fight still stuck in the jungle, still farming up in an absolute pace. Good, looking to try and keep him at Lemp's Bay.
Wow. Oh, look at that, Skimmy. They've got sub moves. Emilio is first to this play. We've also got top prior with Udyr. This is should be a very Mammoth favored play, and Shenfire kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, Shern's going to be really careful right now. He should just be dead. Darjung could ult, but he doesn't even need to ult. He is just feasted with 3 members around him. A little bit baited in for the attraction of those Void Grubs, then completely collapsed on by Mammoth.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened to Benvi there, whether he was already bot lane or if he actually walked into bot side jungle. He was hovering around bot side river there, right? And if Shern wanted to contest the grubs, then Rakan needed to be there earlier, but a bit of a miscommunication. That's what we talk about, Ground Zero. Different ideas, different pages, maybe not working as one unit.
And I'll tell you what, you just saw the fan vote got before 92-8 in terms of Ground Zero winning this one. You look at the scoreboard and go, hang on a minute, this is not what was in the script. 3-0 in favour of Mammoth.
Yeah, I just don't know why they don't ban Udyr. There's just every game that Ground Zero played against Udyr, the Udyr went on to a tremendous gold lead, tremendous start. You know, I can't remember if they won a game against it. I think it's just 0-2, but yeah, just ban this champion. It just doesn't seem like there's a counter to it. It's a little bit too strong in my eyes, Skimmy.
Certainly seems to be the case, and I feel like players have been cooking up different answers, different ideas towards it, but you'd hate for it to become a bit of a running meme of just simply saying, lock in Udyr, win the game, because nobody knows how to beat it on stage. We really hope not, as you do see that despite Mammoth getting all those Void Grubs, the first real sign of life and response from Ground Zero is to get the very first Dragon.
But it's impressive. I mean, it's a 1.5k gold lead for Mammoth, and in the pre-show we were highlighting how Ground Zero have the highest Baron percentage, you know, one of the highest Dragons percentage, the Rift and the Grubs, but this early game has got Mammoth written all over it.
It certainly does. Let's see though if they can respect the amount of attention with members missing on the map. They do certainly back away from this one, concede that wave, concede this turret play at the very bare minimum. As Shernfire will also look to try and steal away your jungle camps too. Now, Guru's in the area. That's going to take them both across to level 6. And we'll see if much more comes off this play.
Yeah, that was very risky by Shernfire. Yeah, unless he had exact position of Sejuani. If Sejuani was behind the bot lane there, he could have just been 1v3 collapsed. Benvi and Lemus were a little bit too far away to help him, but not to be in this game. Gets away with a nice little camp steal, but if we just look at the CS Skimmy, Sejuani has got the exact same farm as Brand, which is not what you like to see if you're Ground Zero. Brand is a flash farming jungler like Diana, like the Kayn. Should be getting a steady gold lead, steady CS lead throughout the game.
Oh, here we go. There's the showstopper and just slammed into the wall. Instant headbutt. And just gets a freebie. Just gets the solo bowler. Like, you just couldn't believe it. You're thinking, surely there's no way. He just goes through it.
Yeah, I mean, he even caught me off guard, Skimmy, because it looked like he had a lot of health there, but suddenly about half his health disappeared from the W, and then the set all comes out. No way to flash that one, right? CC'd in the air, and gets the solo kill Kiste, proving that this counter pick is worth investing into.
It feels like such a long time since we last saw set mid. I almost want to say maybe all the way back to when Tally played it, a very long time ago. I want to say almost like 2 years ago. It's been a hot minute, but it's exciting to see, and it is finding its merit now. I mean, it all just initially starts with saying, yeah, let's have a fight. We're not all inning, but they go for it.
Yeah, wow, so he actually dodged, he dodged his, Yon dodged the set W with his Q3, but still just loses. It's just a champion diff. With these items, without Blade of the Rune King, Yon just cannot beat set.
And you're thinking, shorter that first little jungle gank was enough to try and help things out here for the Yone, but not to be. Gets these found his way back in, once again demonstrating that class. And I suppose back to your point of the jungle comparison, is a bit of a worrying concern when a Sejuani is keeping pace. Certainly given that they went for the objective, went for that first gank, and it's all working in their favor.
Yeah, not just keeping pace, Kimmy, but now ahead, still has a camp to take, and Gura, one of the veterans of this team, showing his class. Asta looking mid, helping out Dajong a little bit in this lane. A little bit risky for going for this trade. Dajong feels confident because Milio's there, but there's also 3 other people around him.
Yeah, everybody converging on mid lane. Last little fadeaway knock up there from Dajong, but really not looking for much more, but a bit of tickle damage at the very last second. You can see that Gudo is just hiding in Fog of War right now, waiting to see if Ground Zero were to go for a dive. Ultimately says, well, the wave's crashing. I'll just hit them with a grand reveal and say it's your decision to respond to next. So if they've got this mid-tempo, do they look to try and utilize that to get the second spawning of these Void Grubs?
Yeah, I think Mammoth really want to get their hands on those that second spawn of Void Grubs, and especially because they only need 2 to get the full 5, and Gudo going in, misses the ult.
Yeah, complete airball on that one, but a charm comes out from Denver to try and turn this one around in their favor. Not to be successful because he is the first one to fall. No more at this stage, but then the TP comes out, and Shernfire keeps Gudo locked in place. He'll flash the wall at the very last second, and he'll receive a shield from Asta, but can he run away? It doesn't seem too likely because everybody's hot on his heels, but they'll say, we can't get you, we'll just get this instead.
Yeah, but just look at the wave, Skimmy. Udyr's catching top wave, Dodgen's happily catching mid, Aphelios is farming bot. bot wave and potentially even 2 plates, I think Mammoth are more than happy with getting a kill and getting gold on their Aphelios, but a TP is coming in bot. Oh,
Uh-oh, it's a backline TP for Tien, but the observers are confused because so much action's happening at so many different places right now. Could Tien do anything into Duck? It doesn't seem likely. Turns his attention to getting these minions instead, but then Venvi comes in and forces out the flash and doesn't let it go unpunished.
yeah, I think this is the second time that level 1 as well when Duck 1 got hit by the Rakan W. Just because he ghosted very late. I think there as well, right? Ghost is a much lower cooldown ability. Just pop your Ghost earlier, see if you can save your flash, and just try and get away with Ghost on its own. Not to be, ends up burning the flash. It's a big cooldown gone against champions like Zac and Rakan. You know, flash is your only escape in these river kind of skirmishes.
Yeah, really important, obviously, to try and burn the one in the Aphelios with no mobility, and it can certainly get collapsed upon with little to no regard. You're looking at the potential for a kill there in the mid lane, but Dajong just running out of steam as the Soul gets ripped back into the mid lane.
Yeah, and it seems to be just the Sejuani difference, right? In the 1v1, the Yone is losing, but once Gudo is in the area, it's just so much easier for him to impact this 1v1 rather than Churnfire. He's got a dash, he's got a long-range stun ultimate, and yeah, Mammoth feeling strong enough to start the Dragon.
Certainly are. Let's see if it continues at this kind of pace right now, because this is really upsetting the narrative we built around this game. We were expecting that Ground Zero would come in with a point to prove as the team that would dominate in the early game, and it's been anything but that right now.
Yep, but it is a Cloud Soul for Mammoth. So even though they're controlling the early game, the Soul is not a win con in itself, and they're going to have to make some progress with these outer turrets if they want to accelerate the pace of the game.
Well, let's see then if they can look to try and balloon things open as item spikes come on free. Got Titanic Hydra in the mid lane now for Kisei. Schönfeisch just picked up the completed Leandries. Massive moment for both those two to improve their damage, their clear speeds. And I suppose most importantly, the ability to try and rotate, because they've been a little bit slow in the macro sense. It has been Mammoth arriving to the play first and sort of initiating their own terms.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Mammoth have been on point with the rotations. Really haven't lagged behind. This gold lead hasn't bled away. They've maintained this sort of steady 1.5, 2k gold lead. And we'll see what they decide to do with the lane assignments. I imagine that if you play Udyr, here we go, top play.
Yeah, Dajong is just in trouble here. It's not going to get spotted because there's no vision in that top lane to protect him. So it's as simple as just saying, there is the showstopper. You are going to crash into the welcoming arms of a Brand and the Rakan.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Skimmy. I just think if you put Yone into this weak Zac, he's going to win that. And then potentially the Udyr might have a better time into set. Mid lane, Gudo.
Yeah, we just chucked out a few ultimates there, but the Feather Storm completely cancels that. The Glacial Prison that Gudo was hoping to land. So nothing will cry from this one. There's no real trade back, and it just means that Ground Zero for the first time get a chance to exert some side lane pressure of their own, resulting in the first tower.
Yeah, we can't talk about anything else, Skimmy, because there's just action all around the map. Top lane, mid lane. But ultimately, mid lane, Mammoth didn't get any gold, right? They just blew one summoner, I think, and that was that. Whereas top, Kisei gets 2 waves, gets a kill, gets a tower. So massive outplay from Ground Zero, and now they're in the lead.
And how crazy is it when you sort of look at the total gold that Kisei really is in a class of his own? One and a bit thousand across anybody. He was the one that received that first blood, but he's come back and absolutely smashed it out of the park. So now we approach the 15-minute mark with the game dead even. Ground Zero looking to say, well, what do we do towards this Herald? We'll give that one across, so Gudo picks that one up. Do they go for the fight? They certainly do. 1 man out from Dajong. In, out, and he gets the kill. Brand is dead. No ult, no damage, no chance to cook them alive. But Nectar, he's taken on the bot lane of Ground Zero on his own, diving between 2 towers and leaving the rest of his team to take down Kisei. Dajong fighting for his life, and he survives in the end.
Wow, that is crazy, Skimmy. That looked so good for Ground Zero. They had 2 tanks on the backline of Mammoth. And it might not be over. Lemus doing aggressive things as he always does. But yeah, that fight looked really good for Ground Zero. But I'm not too sure how they lost it, because it looked perfect for them. Schönfire gets exploited at the start. Let's see if he actually gets the ult off. Gudo, importantly, doesn't have his ult, so Dajong initiates. And Schönfire does get his ult off, and Kisei gets this beautiful 2-man W, but somehow this Zac and Yone combo is not able to win against all the squishies, and Nectar happily 1v2ing on the backside. So Mammoth walking away with a Rift Herald and 2 kills.
Yeah, going to be very happy about that one. And I think just above all else was the control that Mammoth had in terms of zoning away the members of Ground Zero, forcing him to scatter to left and right. You saw Tien at the top of your screen in that clip. He was just sort of waiting, going, I don't know if I help you out here, Gisse. I think you're a bit of a done deal. As for the bot lane, right, obviously Lemus yet to get any kills, but he's got a bounty just from farming alone.
Yeah, he does. So Lemus is just quietly doing the work, picking up all the minions everywhere he can. But we also have to look at Duck One, you know, just hasn't died this game at all. Played a very stable game, has 2 kills, feeling very confident on the Aphelios. And with the Udyr being this fed, you know, Zach is forced to itemize magic resist, right? So in teamfights, he's quite squishy to this Yone plus Aphelios combo.
Yeah, he certainly is. It's going to be a bit of a concern, that one for sure. If Duck gets given the freedom to not have to burn his flash or doesn't get punished when that one is down, he has a whole bunch of damage, especially with Emilio in the backline there to buff him. Now, Schoenfire looking towards the bot. Looking to try and see if he can take a 1v1 into Nectar. He's going to keep him interested for the meantime, but in comes the TV to try and back things up, make it a bit more of an even fight. Darjung is here, the shield for Nectar. Not seemingly enough, because then comes another TP, and then Darjung goes, hang on a minute, how have I been dived in a 1v4? Tries to hold out to safety, does not matter. Rip that soul back and send it to the graveyard.
Yeah, that's the macro play coming in from Ground Zero, just having more people in the area. Able to get a kill, plus a tower. Of course, will lose their mid tower after committing so many resources, but I think they're happy without trading up.
Certainly should be the case. You can see that if Lemus had stuck around in that area a little bit longer, there was always a Moonlight Vigil ready to try and land from Dark One. You'd imagine with these items online already, would have been enough to try and find that execute. They're going to convert that pressure to the mid lane straight towards the second dragon for them, and I mean, ultimately, this feels like a brand new Mammoth. Is it the case of a brand new player, or is this a new week, a new identity?
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Skimmy. They look like a completely different team. Maybe that's what Darjung told us. He said that, you know, he had to wait a little bit of time before Riot approved them and actually got him on the GCP and allowed him to play. And he must have had quite a few scrim sets, because this looks like a very polished team on Mammoth.
Yeah, it certainly does. They don't look at a place. It looks like the communication is on point. Okay, there's definitely been a few times where Darjung has been called out in those 1v4 situations. Here is that prime example, looking to try and bail out Nectar, but ultimately he gets out, and then Ground Zero like, well, it's another freebie.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. It's very confusing. Nectar doesn't actually commit his ult onto Schoenfire. He just does the double Phoenix. I think Schoenfire gets chunked very hard there, but he calls in Darjung for backup, but they've lost track of the support and the top lane of Ground Zero, and big surprise to them when they show up.
Certainly was the case. Everybody grouping up in mid lane once again, looking to try and make something happen as a result. Looking to try and burn out the flash from the Aphelios, but it's not to be the case. Duck literally just hits them with a few auto attacks and zones them back. So unable to try and find any way to punish on this occasion, but mid lane seemingly the focus, and with Nectar having TP available, it's game on for Ground Zero.
Oh, here we go. Godo misses the ult, but yeah, not really sure what the fight is for. There's no objectives on either side. The Dragon's gone, the Rift's gone, there's no Baron, so both teams just deciding to ARAM, shake hands in ARAM and dropping sideways for whatever reason, and Nectar's taking full advantage of it.
What do you think at this point in time is best equipped to look to try and actually handle the Udyr, because he's doing really whatever he pleases at this point?
I'm not too sure, Skimmy. I guess you just want to match the set into him, because the set does have the Blade of the Ruined King. So
yeah,
HP stacking Udyr with Mercury Treads is going to struggle against that. But I really don't think there's a way to kill him, right? I just don't think you commit resources to that Udyr. You just try and make a play on the mid wave, on Duck One, on Asta, or perhaps even Darjung on the other side.
It seems to be their real struggle at the moment, isn't it? They've been unable to try and punish the spot lane in Mammoth. And it's been able to freely scale up, get those kills, get that farm, most importantly, to hold that mid lane as strong as possible, deterring any kind of dives that could take place. So really is up to the likes of both Nectar and Darjung to hold their own in both top and bot. And similarly, the potential for a gank to happen. But Gudo has no ultimate, just burn it prior, so just warning shots here.
Yeah, look at that from Benvi, recognizing that Millia had no ultimate and forcing out the flash from Duck One, and that's just good fundamental league from Ground Zero, right? They see the enemy team is making a play bot side, and they immediately pull the trigger on mid.
But that's what they've been hoping for all game long, hasn't it? They really wanted to burn this flash from the Aphelios. Finally, they have it, and now there are objectives to fight for. The Baron is up and available. The terrain is, I suppose, ideal to try and funnel all these members into place to make likes of a Brand ultimate or even the Yone ultimate find huge success.
Yeah, and we finally see that CS lead start to accrue for Schönfire. He's got 170 to 130, kind of what we expect, kind of what you have to do on Brand to stay relevant, because really outside of damage, your champion offers very little else.
So in terms of the Brand, kind of me intrigued because I've not seen too much of it in competitive, but by the late game point, are you very much a laner, would you say, in terms of you're farming up, you're taking as much of this as you can compared to, say, other players on your team?
Oh yeah, I'd say you're probably even stronger than some of the laners, and the good thing about Brand, Skimmy, is that you just need to toss out your abilities and then you're happy to die, because everything's still bouncing. In a lot of these fights, the Brand might die and his ult's still going to do 4, 5, 6 more bounces in the team fight, and yeah, I think Brand is definitely a late game champion and going to have a lot of success for Schönfire in this game.
Let's see then if the positioning is favorable for him to then find that full rotation of CDs into insane AP burst. Currently waiting in the wings, looking to try and see if anybody steps up to the wave. And Duck lands right in the position. He flashed, he bounces, and he says, well, Duck, you've got nothing. I've missed the mark, but we'll guarantee this kill. That's the big shutdown. It goes the way of Lemus. And do they now go for the turret into Baron?
Yeah, really big question now for Mammoth. Look at that. That's their only blue trinket dead, Skimmy. So if Ground Zero start this Baron, Team Mammoth will have to walk in blind.
Not a good look for them, but they're going to take that gamble. They're going to see what they can get accomplished with this at the moment.
They're trying.
Certainly are. You can see they're trying to zone them back for the meantime. Taking on 2 is keeps them back. The Baron is always going to be a bit of a bait, a bit of a dance. As Darjun drops down low. In slingshots here, looking to try and hit those flappy hands, but another flash goes out from Goodo. And the respawn of Duck makes their plans get deterred.
Yeah, I think Ground Zero were never really intending on finishing the Baron there. It was always about the turn. You could see from Tian's positioning, ready to pull the trigger as soon as somebody steps over the line, and Mammoth lose all of their flashes, only Dodgen with a flash remaining. So all of these objectives are just so hard to retake for them now. Who's going to be the first person in? Even the Sejuani that walks in to a Brand stun, to a Set stun, to a Rakan knock-up. Oh, Goodo starting the Baron. Very cheeky. Yeah,
this is very confident from Mammoth, isn't it? The fact that they feel that they have enough in the tank to try and force the fight. There is no cleanse from Demilio. This could be a bit of an issue right now. Out jumps Goodo once again, forcing a bit of a bait on this Baron. It's down to 50%, but they're not giving up just yet. Darjun already flung himself back into the pit. That clone is not available. And then Nectar takes the gamble. He fights into Benvi, surrounded by 5 members. The Udyr will finally fall on down. Out goes the Moonlight Vigil. It doesn't find the success it was hoping for, but there is the face stop and slam them down and let them burn to the Brand. There is 2 for him, 2 for Lemus, and Ground Zero have finally woken up.
Yeah, definitely a great fight for Ground Zero. It's all those flashes coming in. The flash cap for Mammoth, really hard to execute this kind of a fight against Zach, against these hard engaged champions when you don't have the flash available to yourself. And we saw, I think, Goodo tried to Q over the wall to engage, but completely missed it on Rakan. And after that, there's really no follow-up, right? The Yone ult is impossible to lead with, and Udyr was still bot lane. So it felt like Mammoth really had no way to pull the trigger off that Baron.
No, and we're just watching this wild goose chase of can we catch Demilio, and I think, yeah, Lemus has lost interest. They've let him get away, but let's run it back for this Baron clip.
Yeah, so Darjun goes over the wall to try and check that close bush. Now he's on full cooldown, and so does Goodo. They've really missed both of their engage opportunities. They have to just leave. Nectar needs to not go forward here. There needs to be clear comms from his laners that there's no play. Retreat, guys. It's not our Baron. And they kind of commit to a lost cause. Yeah, it's kind of downhill from here. No flashes, no way to really get out.
Yeah, a little bit disjointed, unfortunately. All the ultimates not coming together as cleanly as I'm sure they would have envisioned. And Ground Zero hot to pounce, hot to punish, and ready to take control of this game once again. Up by 5,000 gold, 2 dragons apiece to a soul point, not looking too likely, but it is Ground Zero over Baron, and attacking 2 lanes at once.
Yeah, we have to say, great itemization from Kiste as well. Picks up the Random Omen, very high value, 2 crit champs, very little magic damage. The fight's happening, Skimmy.
It certainly is. Nectar jumps in straight away. Out goes that Fate. Good to try and snipe Schönfire in the backline. He flings back. They do, in fact, get that shutdown. So Brand is dead for 40 seconds, but it is a 1-for-1 so far as Lemus answers back, taking down their jungler as well. So still, you're feeling like Ground Zero are undeterred the fact that they can still keep pushing on forward. They can get more structures. They can continue to fight. And the Moonlight Vigil doesn't even kill Benvi. It's going to take him down. And that final Graviton from a million miles away comes into effect. Duck surely falls on down. And it's the feathers of all things that get it done.
Yeah, that was flashing forward on 80 carry to get a support kill. That was very questionable decision making, right? Because he's not going to have those available to him. Next fight does get 300 gold in his pocket, but I wonder if it was worth it. At least they've stopped the siege, right? There should be no inhibitors going down. Mammoth did a good job sort of stopping the bleeding, stabilizing the game. That was a great time to pull the trigger, right? They've set a line, and they didn't let Ground Zero cross it without paying a price.
Well, yeah, you're right in that regard. They've not lost as many structures as they would have anticipated otherwise, but it is still 5 towers to 2. We'll run it back initially because it is just a case of, well, we're pushing mid and bot. Let's command this jungle and see what you can do.
Yeah, so a bit unlucky there on Gudo. Doesn't land his ult onto Shermfire. Sherm's able to flash out, and like we said, he just throws out all his cooldowns. Yes, sure, he dies afterwards, but he's done so much damage that the fight already feels won for Ground Zero. And then Duck 1, mate. The tower's gone, buddy. You just give it up. It's all good. Tries to get a solo kill into Bambi. Walks backwards, walks back in, really greedy. I mean, it's not worth it, but maybe it's good for his mental. He does get a kill on the board. And that's the end of it.
He would have felt so close to getting away from that one. He felt, just that pesky, pesky Zaya ultimate. Oh, he's burnt that. He's vulnerable, guys. Get him down, but it wasn't to be. The fight was already gone by that point. Fancy feet from both Dojang and Benvi. It's not going to deter this top lane tower from falling down, making it tower number 6 acquired here by Ground Zero. And this map is getting bigger and bigger and easier for the likes of Aestet and so on to flank from now.
Yeah, and it's shrinking for Mammoth, and the item disparity is starting to come into play. We've got a full item lead, even more, full item plus the F-Sword on the Zaya, as well as the full item lead on the set. So I'm struggling to see what's the window for Mammoth. I think the items won't make any difference. It just has to come down to flashes, right? Shermfire no flash right now, perfect fight opportunity.
Uh-oh, it's the face check, one that you should never do, and they have paid the ultimate price. Brand has given them a bit of a welcome package and given them 30 seconds to reflect.
I mean, it was a very good place to fight, right? Ground Zero only had 3 people in the area. Benvi, Limas very far away, but Asta just walks in first, doesn't let Gudo tank, and Gudo's
gone for the ultimate, it's onto Benvi. Doesn't really matter because he's still managed to turn things around with the charm and the knock-up. An absolute CC Kingdom! They lose nobody, but they're taking everybody. Gudo flashing, baiting, and really breaking the ankles off the Zac, but it doesn't matter because all they wanted was the inhibitor, and that's what they'll get in the mid lane.
Oh, I think he'll get 2 inhibitors here, Skimmy, and the damage just seems overwhelming. Sejuani not enough to tank the squishies. Once the Ground Zero carries get access on them, die instantly, and Ground Zero want to end the game.
But they certainly do. It is the dying moments of this game. Do Mammoth have anything left in the tank to try and prevent this one from falling on down in 28 minutes? It took a bit of time for Ground Zero to come into this one, but ultimately when they found the momentum, they've never shown any signs of slowing down. Nectar 1v4. This is the power of Udyr. CC immune, damage out of control. Ultimately, it's a godlike Zaya. It doesn't matter. 7 kills for Limas this game. That champion too strong, but Dojang with his last breath gets a 2-man ultimate, a double kill for the mental, but it won't change the outcome. It's Ground Zero that win game 1.
Yeah, sick play there from Dojang, but a little bit too far gone then. Ground Zero, it looked so close at 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes skinny, and then just something happened. A switch flipped at the Baron, and they just closed the game out in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, it was an early game that really favored Mammoth, and you started to wonder, you started to believe, could this be the upset? The only game of the night? Could it be this one where we get all our popcorn to devour? Well, let's see how this series continues as we go to a quick break. A bit of a bait on this Baron. Down to 50%, but they're not giving up just yet. Dojang already flung himself back into the pit. That clone is still available. And then Nectar takes the gamble. He fights into Benvi, surrounded by 5 members. The Udyr will finally fall on down. Out goes Immolite Vigil. It doesn't find the success he was hoping for, but there is the face of it. Slam them down and let them burn to the brand. There is 2 for him.